We now have a microphone. And we're live.
I'll be
Look at that,
damned.
Michael.
What a Monday. Everything's working like clockwork.
Yeah, right. Oh man, oh man. Just getting old is not for the weak of heart.
Well, I may be old, but I did something yesterday for the first time.
Oh, really? What did you do yesterday for the first time?
I watched a FIFA World Cup game. I saw England and Mexico play. I
And
watched the whole game. England
and,
won
and
3-2.
England won that game, right?
Right, 3-2. And it was pretty interesting. I did enjoy it. As Azteca Stadium was the host venue at the in Mexico City, where the altitude plays a big part, every bit as much as football teams come into Denver to play the Broncos or the Buffaloes have to deal with playing at the altitude that they're not used to. So to England had to deal with the altitude of Mexico City. And at one point they scored 2 goals, same guy, in a minute and 38 seconds apart. So for a game that is renowned for not scoring, low scoring, and a frustrating lack of offense, England put on quite a show.
Took care of business. And then today we will have United States and Belgium.
With Donald Trump refereeing.
Yes, with the FIFA's newest referee, Donald Trump, sticking his 2 cents in. The soccer world is, shall we just say, not happy from what I can read. And of course, now my interest is really piqued because he jumps in and now he's refereeing soccer games.
Yeah. He said he looked at the replay and he determined that it wasn't a foul.
Is there nothing?
There's nothing.
Is there nothing that is that he just he's just going to interject himself into everything, and just and just get
he hasn't gotten into baseball yet, has he?
Well, I'm trying to think if he has. You know, it's interesting. The baseball owners notoriously hate him.
What about the NFL? Do they hate him?
Or? Well, the NFL wouldn't let him own a team. Baseball wouldn't let him buy the Yankees.
Yeah.
So the American sports community is on to him. They don't want any part of him. I didn't see the play. I don't know what happened. So I don't. I only know that what I've read online this morning from the soccer community, and I'm not talking about the American soccer community, although
international football,
the international football community, including the, different countries' soccer associations from all over the world, it gives the world another reason to hate us.
No doubt.
It gives the world just another reason to say, look at these guys. They're just pushing their influence everywhere. And listen, it reinforces the idea that soccer is a corrupt game, is the most corrupt game.
Well, the FIFA guys can be bought. They always want you to know that the first thing you should do is write a check and then we'll talk.
Right. That they can be bought. The head of the soccer association, I forget the guy's name, he's Italian, has been trying to curry favor with Donald Trump for years.
Gave him the FIFA Peace Prize.
Yeah, gave him the FIFA Peace Prize. which I got to think that not many of the countries involved in this thing. I mean, everybody just sucks this guy's Johnson. I mean, it's amazing. And
if you have no self-respect or reason to exist other than pushing your agenda, you get along fine with FIFA. You get along fine with Donald Trump. Bring him a prize, bring him a gift, bring him something gold, bring him something garish, bring him something you can put on his fireplace in the Oval Office, and you're in.
corruption follows corruption, right?
You're the bee's knees.
Corruption follows corruption, and that is what you have here. And you, listen, I know that there are a lot of people who are just going to say, well, he's doing something for America. But he's not doing something for America. He's
America can play Belgium without the help of Donald Trump.
If we go on to win this game tonight,
it'll be tainted.
It will forever be tainted. Now, the rabid sports fan won't care. They got their star player back on what many people say is a questionable goal. But once again, Donald Trump goes over the authority.
Makes a call.
Shows that there's no respect
Makes
for
a
the
thinly
rule.
veiled threat.
No respect for law and order. No respect for the referees are law and order in soccer.
And they're traditionally weird referees, too.
They
get very emotional and involved with the players.
Yeah.
Saw that yesterday in Mexico.
And it's amazing to me that any sports fan would think that this is a good thing. But I can tell you right now that the sports talk fan, the people who elected Donald Trump to office, the disaffected white boy, the white person that thinks they've gotten screwed throughout life.
Like the white supremacists that marched in Washington yesterday?
Yeah, like those people. They think that this is, they're probably thinking that this is the hottest thing since sliced bread. Oh, look at this. We got a president to come to our rescue.
At long last, a president we can trust and be proud of.
You can trust him. He's billions of dollars richer on your money. I mean, is there just no end to the corruption? No end to this guy's just interfering in everything. It's just disgusting.
Well,
I didn't watch soccer before, and now I really won't watch. I mean, it's sad because, you want to root for America. You want to root for your home country, even though I got no interest in the game. I still want to root for our home country. Still want to root for, a game that's being held here, right? That's an incredible thing that people are going to gather in bars all over the country to watch this thing, and places that Seattle is hopping downtown because of it. But he's got to ruin it. He's got to ruin you a good time. That's what he does. For the thinking person, for the person that cares about fairness, for the person that cares about democracy, for the person that cares about the rule of law, for the person that cares about playing by the rules. This has got to be disgusting. So,
Well, to backtrack ever so slightly, how was your 4th?
oh, it's nice. It was nice. Went up to Arlington and watched the small town parade, and then went up to Everett and watched the fireworks up there. They did a beautiful job, and where they had the fireworks in Everett, you can see all the little towns north of Everett and their firework displays. So you get a chance. It was beautiful. It was really nice. I had a cheese steak at a picnic table.
T-bone steak?
No, skirt steak, and it was beautiful. It was a really nice 4th of July. Spent it with friends, and then yesterday got to take Erin, my beautiful daughter, out for a birthday dinner, and that was nice. We went to I don't know if you have them in Southern California yet, but this is a chain of all-you-can-eat sushi restaurants called Sumo.
We don't have the chain, but we have the concept.
And it was the first time I'd ever gone to an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant. It was quite good. More sushi than I could eat. And
if they were going to have an all-you-can-eat sushi place, they should have more sushi than you can eat.
Yeah, they have more sushi than you could eat. Although my capacity for eating has gone down, obviously, since Wegovy has entered into my life. But this place was awesome. It was you pay one price, you go, you have and the sushi, the stuff that you order from, well, the sushi is delivered by a robot. So they have this robot that goes up and down the aisles and stops at your table, and you take your sushi.
Excellent.
And then another you order more sushi, and the robot comes up the aisle, and you take your sushi. Now,
how do you order the sushi so the robot gets the
on your phone? On your phone, you everything's done through your phone. You order it; they have it all listed, what they have on the phone, and then they have a buffet for, the other stuff like a salad or sesame balls or things like that, seaweed salads, things like that. And it was great. It was the concept was fun. The robot turned out to be fun. I liked it. Now I understand. I mean, I don't go out for sushi every night or anything like that, but I understand that there's a place in town that delivers sushi on boats.
Yes, we have that.
Now I'm kind of interested in going to see that.
That's easy. And then the boat comes by, you just grab the sushi right off the boat.
How do you know which is your sushi?
Well, it's yours if you take it. You get the dish that the sushi comes in represents a certain price point. And so they just total up your dishes, and that's your bill.
Ah, okay. So you don't order the sushi. The sushi's made and it just floats past you.
Right.
And
you take it if you want it.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. I'll have to check that out. We used to have a place in when I was growing up in Jackson Heights called Burger Train. And you would order your hamburger, and they would put it on a train that was on the counter. And the train would come and deliver you your hamburger. It would stop at your place at the counter, You would take your hamburger up. Now I think they had a place like that here too in Pioneer Square somewhere.
Mm.
I remember I didn't never went to it, but I remember when I first came up to Seattle in the 70s. Uh, it was just right by the train station, right by Union Station, and it was kind of it was a novelty. It was an odd thing.
You ever have a train wreck?
I guess if you spill your hamburger on somebody, you drop some fries. But other than that, I don't know that they ever had a train wreck. But I don't remember them ever dropping. And I used to go to the place in Jackson Heights frequently, and I don't not while I was there. I mean, I'm sure at some point, some way, somehow, somebody stuck a plate on that train. They had a specially built. They took the regular train flatbed car and widened it out so you could put a plate on it. They didn't deliver drinks by it though.
I'm sure they ran into some problems that they'd rather not discuss at this point. That prevented them from sending you a double-sized Coke, or worse yet, a Monster Dr. Pepper.
Well, I think that a malted might have worked on it, but I guess the whatchamacallit, the soda probably splashed, so it'd probably splash out and get it on people, so it was easier. And besides, I guess the waiters or the waitresses that worked there wanted to do something. I mean, if your hamburger and fries were going to come on a train, you had to do something to earn a tip. So I guess just refilling somebody's Coke would be a way to go.
Yeah. Let me top off your martini.
Yeah, or their iced tea, keeping their iced tea fresh and lemoned would be something that you'd want to see. What did you do for the 4th?
Very quiet. We were going to go to the fireworks display in South Pass, and the idea of going there and standing in line early to get your tickets and then sitting there for 2 hours waiting for the sun to go down did not appeal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's funny because that's the problem here is there is a lot of time between dinner time
and showtime.
There's an extra hour. I mean, the show didn't get started till the fireworks show didn't get started till 10:15.
Wow, that's late.
So that's late. And it still wasn't completely dark. I mean, you still had the sunset. So it was.
These are long days in the Northwest.
Yeah, it was interesting. How long it? I actually did got a video of it actually somewhere. See if I can crank it up.
I told you the problem we have with my grandson Bo growing up in LA and becoming a Dodgers fan. That's a family problem on both sides of the family, the Giants side of the family and the Red Sox side of the family. So this weekend, Bo's dad, Steve Musha, my son-in-law, took the family to see the Red Sox and the Angels play in Anaheim. And that worked out well. I think we got him back on the Sox track as the Sox beat him 8-1.
So,
and the family is very quietly letting Bo know that he is not a Dodgers fan. He's a Red Sox fan. And the Red Sox helped out by winning big time, and that put him in the right spot.
Yeah, I would think if you wanted to, although an interesting question would be, if you don't want him to be a Dodger fan, why wouldn't you have him be an Angels fan?
Because the family is longtime Red Sox supporters, and
Yeah.
the Angels do not stand up in comparison to the Red Sox for insane fans and loyal fans and baseball loving
Right.
fans.
Although I would argue anybody caught at an Angels game these days would have to be an intensely loyal fan.
Yeah. They hate their owner.
Um,
That's one thing that unites Angel fans, the hate of Artie Moreno.
yeah, it's so sad to see that that franchise fall into the disrepair that it has. It shouldn't. It shouldn't in a market like L.A. How can you fall into such disrepair? And they play in a decent ballpark. I
The
mean, their
ballpark's not the
ballpark.
problem.
Yeah, no, it's just no, it's the owner. It's
Yeah.
clearly the owner of the team, and just a neglect or not or an inability to want to spend money on his team. I don't know what his situation is. If he has money, he doesn't have money, or what his story is. But you can't compete with the Dodgers
Not like that.
in a and it all at least the Met fans in and I'm talking about now with markets that have two teams.
Mm-hmm.
At least the Met fans can say their owner goes out and spends money. Now he may screw it up. He may have a general manager that screws it up. He may pick the wrong players, but they can never say that he doesn't spend money on the team, that
You
he
got the
doesn't
receipts.
try to put a winner out there.
He saved his receipts. You can prove he
Yeah.
spent some money.
It just seems that the Angels, and again, I don't know Artie Moreno's situation, his financial situation, but he just doesn't, after he lost Otani, it seems like the whole franchise it almost seemed like Moreno lost interest. And what was worse
That's been
about it, I think,
suggested.
yeah, is what was worse about it is that Otani wound up going to the crosstown rival.
Yep.
And so people that were Angels fans, because of Otani, could have just easily picked up their their tents and camped out on the Chavez Ravine side of Southern California.
Like so many have.
Yeah. I mean, even the Padres have a loyaler fan base
I would think so.
Than the Angels.
Although this year they have reason to cry.
Well, but they're competitive every year.
They just don't seem to ascend to the top of the league.
Yeah, but they're in the conversation every year, the Padres, or most years, if not every year.
That's right.
They have a good ballpark, have a fun team to watch. It's hard to find a lot of fault with the Padres,
except for their team colors, brown and yellow were.
Well, yeah, that could.
Was a terrible mistake. And that they copied from the original San Diego Padres of the AAA Pacific Coast League.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. I never liked that combination. It looked like insurance salesmen, especially when they had. Although I always liked the Friar. I like the Friar with the bat. I always thought that was a cool logo. But yeah, they just never. They changed it a few years ago to kind of a blue
and orange thing,
an orangey thing.
They didn't stick with that.
But they didn't stick with that. And they went back to the brown. And but
And the Mets will
again,
tell you there is a blue and orange team already in the National League.
well, when you think about it, there's quite a few. There's a couple of blue and orange teams. I mean, you get the Astros are orange and blue,
Mm-hmm.
and of course now royal blue and orange belongs to one team. Um, they're not using it that well this year, although they beat the Braves yesterday, but they got blown out the day before. They're a second division team. You old people will know what second division team means, and they're not going to climb. I don't think much further than that. There's some interesting uh, people on that team, and the young guys are learning on the job. They're learning on the job, and the what are you going to do? Guys that were expected to do well this year didn't.
Well,
Um,
I'm in that club.
yeah, and you just and now you don't even have a permanent manager. You have a lame duck manager, so I don't know how well that's going.
It worked well for the Phillies with Donnie Baseball.
Yeah, but people could expect him to be the manager next year. I mean, I would think that he's gonna, he's gonna come along and probably be offered that job if he wants it on a permanent basis. Now, I didn't see who's going to manage is he going to manage the All-Star team this year? The NL All-Stars?
Do not know. I haven't seen anything about that. Maybe
No.
they just bring back Lenny Dykstra from prison for one day and let him do it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The game in Philadelphia this year. Um, Last baseball game I went to with my father was the All-Star game in '97 in Philadelphia, and in the old stadium, the old vet. So there's a little emotional attachment there.
Sure.
But no self-respecting New York fan can like anybody in Philadelphia.
It just can't happen.
Oh, I made a mistake there. It would be he wouldn't manage it. It would be Dave Roberts that would be managing the NL team, the World Series champion, or the World Series participant. Um,
Dave has fallen into that Dodger tradition of hiring a manager and keeping the manager. Walt Alston, Tommy Lasorda, Dave Roberts. You can go back to the mists of time, and you still don't have 5 managers to remember.
well, they went through a period where, for a few years, they were switching managers around. And they have, what was it, Davey Johnson for a while, and then they had Don Mattingly for a while, and I'm forgetting who else. There's somebody else in there that I think I'm forgetting. But no, they're back. They're back to keeping the people that to doing that time honored tradition. Of long term managers, which has always worked out good for them, right?
For the most part, yes. You'd have to say the ones that I mentioned are part of the long-term Dodger tradition.
I'm just was thinking, the old baseball adage is that who's ever in first place on July 4th is a pretty good indicator of who your champions will be.
Well, who's it going to be then, Ben?
Well, according to the standings that I'm looking at, and again, we're a couple of days past July 4th, but the Mariners in a tight race in the West, game and a half up on the Rangers, but the Mariners are in first place on July 4th. The surprise team of the year in the story I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but it's real interesting, is the White Sox.
Yes.
Who are a game up on the Guardians in the AL Central.
It's the Pope Leo spin.
And have, I don't know how they've done it, but they've done it.
Hit the damn ball. That's what you do.
Yeah, they're hitting the ball. They will play against the Red. They got a series against the Red Sox coming up, and then in the East, it's the Rays up on the Yankees. So
those two weren't expected. Chicago and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's another story. But I think Tampa Bay was probably, it's interesting with Tampa Bay because they were a team that didn't know where they were going to play this year.
They didn't have a guarantee of a stadium to play in any time.
Yeah, I mean, they thought
the hurricane messed up was so messed up that there was some doubt about whether the team was going to stay in Florida.
Well, it's funny. There always seems to be a doubt about whether the team is going to stay in Florida. I mean, there's always that question of do they have enough people that show up? But my good friend Bill, who lives down there in St. Pete, was telling me he went to a game. He said he had a good time. They've dolled up the stadium. They've turned a pig and turned it into a princess.
A pig's ears turned into a silk purse.
Yeah, something like that. So the place is nice. Blue Jays being 11.5 back is kind of interesting.
That I don't understand because they bettered themselves in the offseason.
Well, Vladimir Guerrero isn't hitting the ball.
See, it all comes back to hitting the damn ball.
Yeah, and he was such a part of that offense last year. And then they lost Bichette, who was a key part of that offense too last year. And I think that those two pieces, one gone and one not able to hit the ball, has had an effect on the Blue Jays.
It's always fascinating to me how a traditionally respected power hitter can suddenly, in following a successful year where he was in play for trades to other teams, a lot of people wanted his services, Vladdy just having an off season. And I'd like to know the real reason behind that type of affliction that hits baseball players, where hitters can't hit. It rarely comes down to where the shortstop guy catches the ball. Your shortstop was a Golden Glove last year. What happened to him? I don't know. They hit the ball right to him and he can't catch it. That doesn't happen that often, but that type of season and that type of affliction comes to running backs, quarterbacks, outfielders, pitchers.
Well,
what is it?
Guerrero signed that big contract. He was due to be a free agent. He signed a huge contract last year. Said, I'm not going anywhere. And there's probably people on the Blue Jays who are wishing that he had gone somewhere at this point. But, I think I think he's smart enough, well enough, astute enough to hopefully pull out of it. And if there's an injury or something like that, I mean, I forget how old he is, but I mean, he's no spring chicken, but he's still got a lot of gas left in the tank, I would think.
He's a chicken with gas in his tank.
Uh, he,
No wonder he can't hit the ball.
he has, and he has, I guess, pulled out of the All-Star game. He's one of those guys that got elected just on the.
I'll pass. I need the day off.
Yeah, and he said, you know what? Let somebody who can help them win the game play this year. Which you got to hand, you got to give him credit for. I mean, sometimes there's guys that just won't. They won't admit that they don't belong, and it's supposed to be a team of current all-stars. But many times there are people who get elected just because of their past performance,
reputation.
Now in the National League, in the Central, the Brewers are 6 up on the Cubs, and the Cardinals. I mean, it's a tough division. The Cardinals are 7 games over 500 and 7 games back.
Wow.
And they had been playing some great baseball, the Cardinals, 47-40. Cubs are playing good, too. They're 10 over 500. But the Brewers, at 55-33.
Wow.
It's
a winning team.
I think of the best. Well, the Dodgers have 59 wins, so they're the best. And again, the Diamondbacks, who are another team that wasn't expected to do a lot, are 14 games back. Padres also 14 back. And the Giants are, you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
21. And I don't think they're going to be going anywhere.
They stink.
Giants have the Giants and the Mets have almost the same record. Mets at 37-53, Giants at 37-52. So they're almost playing the same kind of baseball.
Well, it's not a winning brand of baseball, I can tell you that.
And in the East, it's the Braves, who look pretty good. I mean, I watched them over the weekend with the Mets and the Phillies. And the Marlins are in there, believe it or not. In a strange, twisted way, a very strange, twisted way.
The twist is strange. It's a strange twist.
Wouldn't you love to see an all-Florida World Series?
It's okay with me. It's good baseball.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still a guy that I don't know if I believe that Florida is supposed to have a baseball team. But,
just spring training.
Just spring training, that's it. Same with Arizona. Is Arizona supposed to have a baseball team?
Not according to the Diamondbacks, no.
So I don't know. I don't see any of these teams. The only team I really see, maybe making a run and charging it, for it. I'm just thinking of some team that you kind of don't expect. I mean, I hope the White Sox. I mean, I think it'd be nice to see the White Sox.
And their star Murakami is leading the team.
Yeah, I mean, what an addition he's been for that team.
Speaking of Japanese stars, Shohei Ohtani is fighting 2 injuries. He's got a inflamed knee that is bothering him, not as a result of a specific injury, but just wear and tear. And it's a chronic problem that's giving him fits. And then his arm. He's asked a lot of his body at a high level of performance over the years, and it's costing him now.
Yeah. Will he? I mean, he's not a guy that would excuse himself from the All-Star game, right?
He doesn't excuse himself from anything. He wants to play every day.
Yeah.
He wants to pitch every 3 days and play every day.
It's got to take a toll on you after a while, I would think.
Well, when something starts to bother you, like a knee or an arm, in baseball, that's not going to go away. You're going to need that knee and that arm every step of the way, every play, every game you're in, every ground ball. It's going to involve the two parts of you that hurt. And there's only so much you can ask of the body. I don't care who you are. In fact, this is proof that it doesn't matter who you are. An athlete as impressive and as extraordinary as Shohei Ohtani is 32 now, and he's asked a lot of his body over the last 32 years.
Boy, it kind of hard to believe he's 32.
Yeah, he doesn't look 32.
He doesn't look 32, and it's almost, you know, it's funny. I mean, obviously you're in Southern California, so you are more aware of Ohtani, but it's kind of hard to remember when he played for the Angels, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
it seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, he's so associated with the Dodgers that he's one of those players that it's just hard to remember him or hard to think of him on any other team but the Dodgers. But he was, 6 years with the Angels?
Was it 6?
I think it was 6, yeah. I think you got to be 6. I think you got to be 6 years to be a free agent. So he came in and
he showed his goods, and everybody was amazed.
Yeah, he was. You know, it's always funny to me because I remember when, and you remember obviously when we were told that the Japanese players couldn't play in the major leagues. They couldn't.
They just didn't have it.
They didn't have it. They didn't have the upper body strength, the lower body strength, the arm strength, the nose strength, the hair strength, whatever strength.
They didn't have that.
I still remember the slew of articles that were written about Ichiro.
Couldn't play ball in North America.
He couldn't play in the major leagues. He couldn't keep up with the major leagues. He wouldn't be able to. He was too small. He was too this, too that. And it made me laugh. I mean, I remember when he first came up, and they asked Lou Piniella, which player do you kind of compare him to? And his answer was Ralph Garr. But that's
he might want to think about that one again. I don't know who he would compare him to now. Jimmy Pearsall. Who would you compare him to? I mean, crying out loud. I can't think of an apt comparison.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I mean, he was so singularly gifted in the way he hit the ball. I mean, I almost wanted to compare him to any great hitter.
Mm-hmm.
His speed out of the box, his feel. I mean, just everything he did at a level that was better than almost everybody else on his team. I mean, you think about the number of hits he got. You think about his ability to, and then add to that his fielding ability
and his arm.
His arm. And you just you shake your head
What,
and you
what
go,
really should shake your head is the amount of bullshit that sports writers and sports commentators have shoveled in our direction for generations, and they're always wrong. And now you got Stephen A. selling his bullshit, whatever it may be,
"Who he
his
wants to
opinion,
be president?
his opinion of that day.
He wants to be president, Stephen A. I mean, he's actually got it in his head that
He's on his way.
he should consider a run for president."
That would be humorous to witness. I'd cover that.
Yeah,
If there's no downside to being wrong as everyone was about Ichiro, as wrong as they were about Otani, as wrong as they were about all Japanese players, there was no downside for being wrong, dead wrong. Those guys continue to shovel the nonsense every morning if they're on the radio, every afternoon if they're in the afternoon paper. It just, there's no downside to being wrong as a sports prognosticator.
yeah. I mean, how many times were? Listen, I mean, I was wrong a million times. Uh, uh, most of the guys on sports radio are wrong most of the time. But nobody holds you to it. If you're on radio, you get people that used to call in and say, "Well, you were wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. This, that, the other thing." But you just get, Stephen A. gets paid a lot of money to be wrong.
I guess what they're paying for is just an opinion, any point of view on time. We need it for this morning, Stephen A.
Well, that's it. I mean, and that's the reality. The reality is that they're not worried if you're right or you're wrong. They want the opinion. They want it voiced in a controversial way. They want it to be loud, and they want it to be something that people will listen to, will remember. I mean, like him or hate him, you're going to remember what Stephen A. says.
Because he says it every day.
Because he says it, and he's not shy about it, and he'll say it anywhere he possibly can.
Not shy, definitely not shy about it.
Not shy about his opinions. And again, you hit the nail on the head. Whether he's right or he's wrong, he's not shy about giving his opinions out. And so he winds up. He's got a good promotion machine. He gets on all of these shows. Bill Maher and The View and this and that. And so as he widens out his and so now he's gone from just being opinionated on sports to being opinionated on everything.
Anything you want. Anything and everything.
Yeah. And listen, who can blame him? I mean, we've done the same thing. We haven't gotten the notoriety for it as he has, but who can blame him? After a while, you start to
you either diversify or you don't grow.
Well, you start to think that your opinion matters on everything. And one day you really find out that your opinion doesn't matter
on anything.
On anything. You're just as your opinion counts just as much as a guy sitting in a coffee shop. The only thing is, you may have a bully pulpit, you may have a show, you may have the gene that says, "I'm not shy about giving my opinion. If you want my opinion, I'll be happy to give it to you." But that's the thing.
You can ask for the short version or the long version, but they're both the long version.
Yeah, but you're going to get it. You're going to get my opinion no matter what. And so That's what you deal with. Yeah, and you know, well,
No.
by the way, this just came over the wire. FIFA has dismissed Belgium's appeal over the decision on Balogun.
So they went. They
So,
went the right. They didn't have the money to call the top guy and get it changed.
well, nobody got a FIFA Peace Prize in Belgium.
You should have thought of that.
And then, of course, Donald Trump tweeted this morning or truthed on his truth thing that uh, FIFA got it right.
Because Trump gets it wrong. Now we know that FIFA got it wrong.
So it's I don't know. I just think it's as we said at the top of the show. I think it's said because if the United States wins, the whole world now will be rooting for Belgium,
I can't blame
and if
them.
the United States wins, it'll be a tainted victory.
You guys bought your trophy.
Yeah, you had to bully your way like you do for everything else.
This is just a bombing expedition.
I'm surprised you haven't. Um,
Where's the
surprised you
Secretary
have.
of War?
I wonder now if Trump will reverse course. There was a lot of talk that he and Vance were going to come here, or he or Vance were going to come here for the match this afternoon.
That would be unwise.
But I guess they changed that. But now that Trump has stuck his nose in it, he would probably want to come here and get applauded by the crowd.
Think he's going to get a standing ovation. Think again. Careful now.
It's really it's yeah, it's sad. It really is. Um. So anyway,
There's nothing I would call on the president to help the Giants, but there's nothing I think he's capable of doing. Turn around their sad season. If they're
I
not
don't know. I
if
think
they're not
that
even playing as well as the Mets, what can I ask him to do?
yeah, Mikey. I think that to be honest with you, I think that he could help the Giants. He could tell the umpires that they have to call the Giants safe on every play,
That's not
or he
twice
would
fast.
send Cash Patel and his FBI out to investigate him.
Try to get a straight answer out of Casey Stengel. That's what I'd like to see him do.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the? I know you had a quiet weekend. Did you watch any of the July 4th Falderal in Washington, the Trump speech, or
I'm glad to say I missed that
or
somehow.
the end of the country fair, or
Thank
the
God. They shut it down. There's still more. Nobody was there. Everybody out. There's no one here.
yeah, it's by the way, we were talking on Friday about how um, the United States was lacking in aid for Venezuela with their earthquake. there's an article in the Times today that says that the United States has realized $8 billion in oil money from Venezuela since we've taken over that country,
They owe us.
and we've sent them $300 million in quake aid.
Wow. Did that check bounce all the way to Bolivia?
Well, after Donald took his cut, so I don't know.
I did see a picture of all the dogs that help find bodies and survivors under the rubble. There was a group photo of the dogs that came from America to go to Venezuela to help. And what a wonderful bunch of faces, all sitting there like good dogs, looking at the camera, doing their pose, doing their job. What do they get? What do you pay a dog who saves lives? Give him a pat on the head, give him dinner. That's it. Time for a nap.
Yeah, they have to be. What can you do? You know, the dogs work no matter what.
It was just wonderful to see their faces. They all seem so professional and serene.
Well, how much they just get it a lot more than humans do.
They understand how they're going to be helpful, and they do it without hesitation. Well, Vinnie, we made it through Miraculous Morose Monday. I don't know
Yes,
how.
we did. It's a Monday to be remembered. I'm glad we got through it. I had my doubts at the beginning of the show.
So did I. Oh, so did I. I didn't want to say anything and ruin the whole show.
I had a couple of minutes there where I was like, oh no. But luckily.
Well, you going to watch the game tonight? You going to watch Belgium and the U.S.?
Yeah, I
Right
guess
there in your backyard.
I've taken pride in my record here that I haven't watched any of it, but it's here, it's in town, it's going on, it's the U.S. Although again, I just feel there's that feeling of the game was interfered with. You know that there's a player that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And
it could mean the game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe it's funny. I probably will watch it, but I don't know. I just feel I'm sad because once again something has been tainted by Donald Trump.
Something I learned yesterday about soccer or football that I didn't know, and I'm not embarrassed to say this because I don't follow the sport, and I don't feel like I'm losing a lot of points worldwide for not following the sport. But the British team that won yesterday, not the British team, the England team, not Great Britain, England, had a guy red carded, and they had to play the rest of the game with 10, not 11. So they beat Mexico 10-11. 3-2 was the final score. But I wasn't aware that was a rule. So, probably a lot of people are laughing right now.
I hadn't been aware of that either. So you just educated me. I didn't know. I thought that if somebody's red carded, you get to bring somebody of lesser ability in or something.
Lesser ability, bringing somebody who falls down. But I will say that the reputation.
Call somebody out of the stands.
Come, kick the ball.
Hey, you look like a soccer player. Get down here. Put a pair of shorts on. No, wait a minute. You got to stay in your street clothes.
Yeah. And your brogans.
That's how you do it, Michael. That's how they should. That's how baseball should do it. I've said this for years with the Smokey Burgess rule. Is maybe okay. So you can't have somebody that's retired 5 years come onto the field and run. So you just take somebody out of the stands. You have a row of people, front row. You paid $500 for your tickets. You have the possibility of getting called into the game.
Be ready. Wear sensible shoes. Get out there. Don't embarrass my team.
Wear sensible shoes. No beetle boots.
No flip flops.
All right, Mikey. Listen, I'll see you on Wednesday after
Wacky.
Lord's will and the creek don't run. Wear sensible shoes. That's
Is it gonna, yeah, because it's going to be a wacky day.
good advice for everybody. All right, I'll see you on Wednesday after Lord's will and the creek don't rise, pal.
See you, man.
All right, peace, love, Manischewitz, baby.
What a wine, baby. See ya.
Thank you all for listening, man. Take care.